fries, and the son snatches the fries away from him. He gives him that daddy look like, what? I can't have a fry? He said, no, Daddy, these are my fries. To which his daddy answered, listen, son, there's a couple things you need to understand. Number one, I bought those fries. Number two, all the fries belong to me. And if I don't get no fries, nobody's going to get no fries. Watch this. That when I bring my tithe, it acknowledges God's dominion. Then also, number two, that when I bring my tithe, it asserts my devotion to God. Right. That when I bring God one out of everything that he's given to me, it says to God, Lord, I worship you. Yeah. That's why when it comes to giving and giving our offering and bringing our tithe, that we don't stop worship. You know, people like, well, you know, after offering, we're going to go higher. There ain't no higher time than offering. Or they'll say offering is a part of giving. It ain't a part. It is worship. Bringing them tithe and giving them offering is worship to God. It is devotion to God. That's what they were doing in the temple. When he was reading, he said, the reason why they left me was because they failed to bring to me that which meant worship. This means God has dominion over everything, but it also means, Lord, I thank you and I worship you for giving me all that you've given me. I'm worshiping God when I bring. All right, let's get to the second part. All right. Not only does the text say that I need to bring the tithes as a gift from God, but I bring the tithes as a gift to God. Look at verse 10. He says, y'all see it? Verse 10? Amen. Y'all writing that in. Word 2, T-O. All right, here we go. Verse 10. Y'all see it? Let's read it together. Bring the whole tithe into the storehouse, that there may be food in my house. Test me in this, says the Lord Almighty, and see if I will not throw open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing that you will not have room enough for it. You see that? He says that your tithe is a gift to God. Watch this. He says that here's what we have to do. That God's plan, he said, God's plan will never change. Here's what he said. Y'all write in. He said, first of all, we have to determine a percentage. We have to determine the percentage. He says, bring a tithe. When I bring a tithe, I understand that a tithe represents 10%. 1/10 of whatever God gives me, God says, return back to him. Now, I want you to understand this, that these are items, and this is a visual illustration of what your life ought to look like. Say it again. This is a visual image of what your life ought to look like. Now, I couldn't detach yourself from yourself in order to show you this, so I had to bring some items to show you what it looks like. So this represents you, not this stuff. This represents you. So that when I determine a certain percentage, I say I determine a certain percentage. He said a tithe, 1/10 of everything he gives me. So what you mean? 1/10 of my money, my treasure, 1/10 of my talent, 1/10 of my treasure. That's where and let me help you with this, because some of you go, okay, that's great, because I'm helping you with that love of money and the lack of money. A tithe is a starting place, not a stopping place. A tithe is the minimum, not the maximum. Y'all ain't saying nothing. Because some of you looking at me and you're going, I pay my tithe, so he ain't telling me. 1/10 But why do you think God has you in the place he has you financially?